What's up, Route Pros Nation? It's Route Pros Mark here. Welcome to the Route Pros latest vlog. When the going gets tough, the tough get creative. We know things have been pretty tough out there these last few weeks. Almost some unprecedented, crazy times out there. But we've been hearing a lot of great stories from a bunch of you about some of the creative ways that you're overcoming some of the social distancing hurdles that we face. You know, it's an absolute privilege to, although we're not on site with you because of travel restrictions, to be able to still be a part of your success and a part of the process. So let's kick back and let's talk about some of the great things that when the going gets tough, the creative get moving on.
Thank you, Mark, for that introduction to when the going gets tough, the tough get creative. Mark Albrechtism, probably 1.01. You know, we have gone through a lot this past month. When the coronavirus fear started to come about, you know, I think we all just kind of didn't know what to do. We didn't know what to expect. And then when the shutdown happened, then the new expectations kind of came around. So, you know, as we cover when the going gets tough, the tough gets great, I'm going to share some best practices that we're hearing. Also, I'm going to kind of share what we're doing here at Route Pro University. You know, I think it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of looking at some pictures here, and somebody says, well, you can't do alterations in the field. And that's kind of a creative bicycle. I don't know if that's really a real deal. But you look at the evolution of dry cleaning in general. You know, you see somebody on a motorcycle. You see a horse and buggy, and you see, we always think that's Sean McCann from Best Cleaners Connecticut. That's his great-great-grandfather. Obviously, this one's not too creative, but we have a lot of fun with that. You know, one of the biggest things that I recommend that I think has been a game changer leading up to the coronavirus, but even more so, is the skips. And so as it's a little bit after 5 o'clock now, our skips are starting to roll in. So I'm going to kind of give you a sneak peek of what we do, what we use, and push your point of sale to try to do what we do, because I think it makes it a little bit better for the texting services and it can make your life a little bit easier as well. As we talk about when the going gets tough, the tough get creative. I'm wearing my Kansas City Chiefs mask just to practice social distancing. Now seriously, you know, right now that seems to be one of the key buzzwords. And so we've got three elements of our job that we have to be concerned about in the eyes of the consumer, in the eyes of the prospects, in the eyes, of course, of our customers. We have the operational mindset. And again, being creative during this is really staying on top of kind of the pulse or the temperature of your customer. We always talk about that. What's great about the route, obviously, is that we do promote social distancing because there is no human interaction most of the time. If you are going into businesses, you definitely want to wear a mask. And I know in some states it's becoming mandatory, and yes, you need to do it. If it comes to involved with customer service, as you'll see here in a little bit, texting seems to be one of the better ways to do it. You know, but again, the good old-fashioned phone call also helps out too. You know, being creative during this time is really about just staying engaged. You know, this is tough for them too. And so they, I think, enjoy human interaction, something that seems to be missing in a lot of people's worlds. And of course, the final creative mindset while it's tough is sales and marketing. Now, again, you're going to hear that you can't do face-to-face sales. Well, you can still do face-to-face sales 6 feet away, and people are doing it, and they're getting results. Be, again, aware of the situation. Don't get too close. Obviously, no handshakes, right now, even fist bumps. So, again, be aware of it. If you're going to do face-to-face sales, obviously you might put a mask on. If they're not wearing a mask, though, kind of ask yourself the question, do you want to be building some bonding and rapport? We talk about mirror imaging. But I think in general, yes, you probably still want to do that. That's why I'm working on trying to find somebody that can maybe make logo, face mask. If you can do it for, with your alterations lady, go for it. I think that'd be a great idea for your staff and your drivers. We're getting a lot of best practices from you. And although a lot of customers have asked us not to share them publicly, most of them, as we like to say, are pretty obvious. Whether you focus on specific marketing techniques or strategies, targeting, of course, real common one right now is the first responders, whether you give them a discount. Some people are doing it for free. So in general, this is a tough time. And what I recommend, again, if you've got an idea, if you've got, whether it's operational, customer service, or sales and marketing, run it by Mark, Mike, and I. If we haven't heard of it, we'd probably tell you to go for it. We might be able to add some additional insight. We may be able to share some of it with the group. Post it on our Facebook page. Again, it's a great venting section for us. It's, in a good way. Again, we celebrate a lot of successes there and keep it up. And again, customer service tips. We all could use those, as retention right now is very critical, especially when we rebound and we've got to go back to whatever the new normal is. So keep it up out there, guys, and I'm going to share a little bit about texting and some of the things that I recommend on that end. So we're going to go over this texting service. Now, again, I'm telling you right now, between all the ways of communicating with your customers, texting right now is still one of the best ways to do it. We recommend a company called SendHub. And it's pretty easy. It's very much like Constant Contact. You've got contacts, you got your groups. You can actually do conference calls with them. And if you look at our groups, we kind of got them broken down. Lost Tuna, Monday, Thursday hold. Anybody that's opted out, Smithville is a special business, and a Tuesday, Friday hold. And again, you can group your customers under those categories. When you look at the customers, again, we also put them by their routes. And of course, we have their numbers. Please don't call them. And again, there's their days assigned. And on the message board, you can sit there and you can actually type in Tuesday, Friday, or Lost Tuna if you wanted to. So you could do a group mass text on the fly. This is great for weather situations or whatever. But the bottom line, what I like about it is this is the screen that all our phones have. And then you can also schedule the messages. And so there's all our scheduled messages for the upcoming rest of this month. So again, we're actually doing a flash special. We're promoting wash, dry, fold. We can customize this any which way we want to. They do skip. We do have the skip feature. As you can see, it'll say twice a week, please reply by 8, leave a bag out, type to end as if they opt out. The bottom line is we basically do all our customer service through this. It's one dedicated number. And you can see it right there. And actually, if you spell that out, that's 376 DC to you, believe it or not. But we do this in order to be able to communicate with our customers. The downside to it is when they do skip, we have to manually do it, but it doesn't take us that long. It takes us about 10 minutes per route, if that. Each driver is responsible for it, so they can nail it out. So again, when the going gets tough, the tough gets creative. I think, no matter what you have, no matter what your point of sale, use a texting service. And if you're not happy with your point of sale, what they have, I recommend SendHub. I know that MailChimp has their own version of one now, too. We're going to be checking that out a little bit later. But keep going, guys, and keep growing. When the going gets tough, obviously things kind of tend to slow down. But one of the most creative things that we're seeing out in the field is people being more aggressive getting new customers. I mean, this is oddly, you say face-to-face sales isn't going to work. Well, whether you go with the 6 foot or maybe even the 13 feet distance, you can still see the whites of their eyes. And we're still seeing people get competitors' bags. They're being a little bit creative with it. They're doing it a little bit different way than ever before. But now is the time to not let your foot off the accelerator when it comes to getting new customers. You know, there's a lot of dry cleaners that are struggling. Some have closed their doors already. These customers are out and about. We got a phone call yesterday from somebody whose dry cleaner is shut down, and yet he's got clothes. He still needs his clothes cleaned. So he gave us a call, brought some clothes up actually to our facility, and he'll be put on our pickup and delivery route. So, you know what? Don't let your foot off the accelerator. Yes, you got to be a little bit more creative. You've got to be a little bit more aware of social distancing. Have fun with your mask. We're seeing people make customized masks with their logos on it. Give them away to their customers. We're seeing that as well. You know, don't capitalize on this crisis, but do make it an opportunity, because opportunity does knock. My last kind of creative comment that I want to make, well, there's a lot of them out there, and some of them our clients have asked us not to share, but some of those you can find posted on the forums and everything. But the last secret ingredient of success, and this is where you've really got to be creative. Again, it's tough out there. Now, it's not having some evil cat in your office. This is Cupcake. She's our office cat. She kind of has her own little chair and all that stuff. But the secret ingredient of success right now is leadership. And so this is a golden opportunity to be creative here and to create a game plan for your leaders, whether you're the one I'm talking to, whether you have potential leadership, or whether you're the owner trying to look for those answers. It's leadership. It always has been. It always will be. Now's the time, especially with all the time in the world, especially if you've got that loan. Continued education, no matter where you can get it. Develop your people to develop your business. That's been our motto for a long time. So as I look and finalize what we're looking to do with, Route Pros and Dry Cleaning to You to keep going, to keep growing, be creative on developing a program of developing your leaders. Develop and mentor them. Just don't make them managers. Managers just manage systems, but leaders lead people. And this is definitely during that time. The time is tough. The strong leaders prevail. They sometimes rise to the occasion where some of the other leaders, they fail. So as Cupcake and I develop our game plan, or how we're going to kind of continue on here with the Route Pros and continue supporting you guys with your great comments, we really appreciate you. And I'm going to hand it over to Mark for one final word.
Another great production by you all, Route Pros Nation. Thank you for the ideas that you keep feeding us to do these vlogs. Keep them coming. Remember, sometimes just the small things and efforts that you put in out there on a day-to-day basis, even in this crazy time, is going to make a big difference, and it's going to set you a step 2 or even 3 ahead of your competition coming out of this. So stay positive, stay moving, and happy selling.